Happy 2025, everybody. Oh my goodness me, we've made it. We're here, we're all good. I hope you're good anyway. What an amazing feeling. I love the new year so much. It is my favorite holiday. Christmas is fine, but New Year's, it's the start of a fresh year and I'm so excited to jump into it. So if you were around for 2024, you will know my panning year was not very good. I did not have a good panning year, but you know what? I'm back. I've had a little bit of a break from project panning over my Christmas break. I'm ready, I'm recharged, and I'm ready to go with Pan That Palette. Let's kick this year off really well. Let's do it. So last year I did make you guys pick my Pan That Palette. It is something that I've been doing for the past few years and I've really been enjoying it. You guys give me so many different ideas why I should, why I shouldn't pan this palette. And I'm here today to share the winner. Now, I have done a few little spoilers in a few little videos here and there, but if you have not been spoiled and you do not know what Pan That Palette I will be bringing into 2025, sit back because I'm going to go through all of the contenders, what you guys thought, and finally at the end, I'm going to be sharing Pan That Palette 2025 with all of you. But just before we do jump into the video, if you have not already, definitely like and subscribe. It is the start of a new year. This is going to be an amazing year for this channel. I have so many plans in the works and I'm just itching and raring to go. So if that sounds like a good time to you, a lot of project panning, a lot of fun, colourful makeup, definitely join our little family. And of course, you're here at the start of a new year, so you can see all of the progress right from the beginning. I did a video talking about all of these palettes that I'm about to share with you guys today, and I also did a poll on my community tab. Now, because YouTube is YouTube, I cannot put more than 4 products in a poll, so I ended up doing 2 polls and the winner of each poll then went head to head, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start with the first poll, poll number 1. So I gave you guys 4 options with this poll and I'm going to start with the loser of the poll, and that was the Colourpop Blue Moon palette. This is a blue palette and you guys may know I absolutely love blue eyeshadow. This was going to be something that was a huge challenge because of course there is no neutrals in here, there is no easy gimme shades in here, and I was a little bit scared, I'm not gonna lie. If this won, I would be quite scared. I mean, I'm wearing a pop of blue today. I'm wearing a blue wing, a blue in a corner. There are shades in this palette I adore. This shade, Clued In, already has a massive pan in it. So, I mean, I knew I'd be able to get really good progress, but it would have been difficult. I probably wouldn't have finished any of the shades, maybe Lumi, maybe hit pan on all the shades, but it would have been a really hard year. Blue is not a wearable colour. Blue is not a colour that I'm confident leaving the house with, like going to my Aldi shop with. I will wear like a look like this, but a full-on blue smoky eye, you know, it's not an everyday look. So this only got 8% of the votes in the first poll. That came out as the least voted palette. And so Blue Moon is not Pan That Palette for 2025. So the next least voted for palette was the Colourpop That's Taupe palette. This has been a palette that I've been working on for a few months at the end of 2024, just because my Modern Renaissance palette, which was my 2024 Pan That palette, was getting super used and abused, and it would be really boring to just update a few shades, so I rolled this in as a bit of a companion. So this is the palette. You can see we have pretty good use on this. I'm really excited about this palette and how it is looking. You can see the shade Bedrock has a massive dip in it. This is going to have pan any day now, and I've really been loving these cool tone nudes. Modern Renaissance is very intense and warm tone. This is a very nice change. However, 15% of you guys voted for this, which means this will not be Pan That Palette. It did not do very well in the votes, and that is okay. I understand why. Very neutral. I think I'd get very bored if I just pan this palette. So the Colourpop That's Taupe is not Pan That Palette for 2025. Coming in second place, this was a little bit of a dark horse, I think. 28% of you guys said that you wanted to see the SheGlam Chromazone palette be panned in 2025. I understand why. I've been saying a lot that I don't support SheGlam anymore, and these pans are super, super shallow, and I already have 3 pans in here, which would make the progress really, really satisfying to watch. It's neutral with a pop of color, which is exactly what I like. I really, really enjoy these kind of color stories. It reminds me of Subculture as well. However, unexpectedly, this palette was decluttered in my eyeshadow palette declutter series. If you missed that declutter series, oh boy, strap in. It was beautiful. It was amazing. It was live last month, middle of December, so definitely check that out. But I think this would have been a really fun pan that palette, but unfortunately, you guys said no, it won't. And there was a huge jump between second and first place in the first poll. So unfortunately, the SheGlam Chromazone is not going to be pan that palette for 2025. So the winner of the first poll had 49% of the total votes, which is insane. Nearly half of you guys that voted wanted to see, kind of a catfish, both of these palettes. So in my original video where I talk through all of the palettes, all of my contenders, I said that I could combine the shades from these palettes. The Colourpop palettes are magnetic, and I came up with this little number. This is a really nice mix of what I love. Cool tone taupes and blues are my favorite color story in the world. Like I said, this shade already has a pan on it, so I think it would be amazing to maybe see where I could get with this. Yes, I have these neutrals that are perfect for every day, but I also have something that can spruce up the look a little bit. I have my fun shades, my fun blues. I've never panned blues before to completion, I don't think. So this would be such an amazing pan that palette. So this won 49% of the first vote, which is an insane amount of votes. I'm so excited. This went in to the final, so maybe this is pan that palette for 2025. Who knows? So then I decided to do a second vote with 4 more contenders, and then the winner of this vote was going to go head to head with my Blue Moon That's Taupe combo. So the one with the least amount of votes for the second poll was my Nabler Cutie Platinum palette. This only had 14% of the votes in this poll, and you know what? I think this deserves more love, to be honest. This is a neglected palette in my collection, but I still really love it. It's a really nice neutral option. I think that I can get really, really good use on this in a year if I really focus on it. I did say that this had to be used in a Get Ready With Me in December, and I did use it in December, and I really loved the look that I made with it. And so I'm really happy that I did get some use on it. Oh my god, who'd have thought? What a concept. But unfortunately, you guys said, no, we don't want this as pan that palette, and so I must obey. I must obey the audience, and this will not be pan that palette. I can't believe this only got 14% of the votes, which is kind of crazy, but you know what? I'm happy that I have used it. I'm hoping that I will be able to use it throughout 2025 as well, here and there, just 1 or 2 times, because this is probably my most neglected palette in my whole collection, and that makes me really sad. This has been in the running to be pan that palette for years now, and it's just never quite got there. So next, with 15% of the votes, so the Nabler Cutie was 14, the next option was 15, and then in second place was 16. So very, very, very close. But this was a duo. These are 2 palettes, and it was the Natasha Denona Mini Star and the Natasha Denona Mini Trio Chrome. So like I was saying with the That's Taupe palette, I love neutrals and blues together, and this was another little neutral and blue option. However, I have spoken about not really liking these 2 palettes. I have since used this a few times on its own. I took it home. I do film in a studio, so I don't do my makeup in the studio every single day. Sometimes I pack a makeup bag bag to take home. I used this a few times and you know what? I actually quite like it now. I have replaced 2 of the shades because I hated the original shades. And now that I've done that, I do like this a lot more. So maybe this can be Pan That Palette at some point. However, I'm still not keen on this one. Even though it's blues, the quality just isn't there. It can get a bit patchy. It's hard to blend. You guys were like, do not hate pan. You have hate panned all this year. Do not roll these in because it will be a hate panning moment. And you know what? You guys are so right. I'm quite glad these were not rolled in. I think I could do justice to this one, but this one I think would get old quite easily. And so I'm not going to be panning these in 2024 either. You guys steered me in the right direction. You guys were looking out for me there. And so these will not be panned in 2025. So next is an option that I don't actually physically have with me, and in second place was a BYOP palette. And this, as I said, came in to 16% of the votes. So close. You guys, 4th, 3rd, and 2nd were just neck and neck throughout all of this poll, but I thought it would be really nice to get some use on my single eyeshadows. I feel like my singles are neglected quite a lot of the time, and so I thought, you know what? I'm going to give them some love and I'm going to maybe pan them. However, I did try that this year for part of this year and it just didn't go down very well. And so, you know what? Maybe not the best option. Maybe I'll do a bit of a companion palette, maybe halfway through the year, and then I can incorporate some BYOPs into that. However, my singles collection, I love it so much. Do I need to work on it? Yes. But am I ready mentally to work on it right now? No. Just because I love all of my indie duochromes, the thought of not having some in my collection makes me want to cry. But of course, it's not won the vote. It is not won vote number 2. So let's talk about the winner of the second poll. This is a very popular palette on my channel. This is the BEAUTYBAY Book of Magic palette, and this is one that you can see I have loved so much. There are so many pans in this palette and I really do love it. Again, it's that blue and neutral color story, which I love so much. How many times can I say that? And this would have been an amazing Pan That palette. I was really happy that this palette won the second poll. This came in at 56% of the total votes, which is amazing. Over half, well over half. And you guys said this would be such a good palette. Yes, I agree. I think it's amazing. This was in the running to be Pan That palette last year as well, and it did lose out. But I love this, as you can see. I want to hit pan on all of this. A part of me was like really scared because it is discontinued now. It's my favorite palette and it's been discontinued. Like how can I finish that? How can I finish a palette that I can't get anymore? But this was the winner of the second vote, meaning that these 2 palettes were gonna go on a head-to-head. And when I say this vote was close, 767 people ended up voting in the final poll. So the palette that came in second place for Pan That Palette 2025, and with 43% of the votes, so this was so close, the second place palette is, drumroll please, Book of Magic. Book of Magic came in at second place just with 43% of the votes. A lot of you guys said it's a lot. And yeah, I agree. This would be a mega palette to pan, and I think I need to just work on it separately. So because this came in at second and so many people wanted to see it, I've decided that the shades that I don't have pan on will be focus shades in my Pan Those eyeshadows. So I will be working on this palette in 2025, but it is not going to be Pan That palette. My thought process right now is maybe I will pan this in 2026 when I've got even more use on it, when it's a little bit less daunting, and I think that would be a good idea. But for right now, this palette is not going to be Pan That palette for 2025. However, you will be seeing this a lot in Pan Those eyeshadows, and I'm really, really excited for that because I genuinely love this palette so much, which means the winner with 57% of the votes is my That's Taupe and Blue Moon combo. this will be the palette that I will be going into 2025 with. This is the palette I'm wearing on my eyes today. You're seeing this on January 1st. I'm starting off strong. This is the palette and I'm so excited. I'm very, very nervous because I have been using these shades for quite a while in 2024, and you can see there's no pan. The That's Taupe shades are very, very firmly pressed. The Blue Moon shades aren't that firmly pressed, so I do have quite a good feeling about the blue shades. The taupes are gonna be difficult. So, my first month with this palette, my goals are I want to use every single shade 10 times. I was gonna go for 5. However, I've decided that I wanna finish this. I do not want a repeat of last year. I really can't do it. So I'm gonna go off strong. I'm gonna start strong out the gate. I'm gonna use every single shade 10 times, and I'm really gonna focus on this because I want this as close to done as humanly possible by the end of 2025. What do you think? What do you think of our new Pan That palette? Do you think I'm going to do a good job? Did you vote for this palette? If you did, congratulations. This is Pan That palette. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I think this is going to be a really, really good panning year. So this is it, the first video of 2025. What do you think? Let me know all your thoughts and opinions down below. Did you vote for something else? Do you think I'm about to make a huge mistake? Let me know. Hopefully you don't think that. But 2025 is going to be the best panning year. I am determined. I'm going to get so many pans, so many empties. So definitely stay tuned. Stay on this journey with me. And if you have subscribed, welcome to our little family and welcome to 2025. But this is it. This is where I'm going to love you and leave you today. I hope you had an incredible day and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye.